Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do another makeup with Mo. I really like these. Granted, this is only the second one I've done, but the first one was a lot of fun. And so it's a series, I guess, or a playlist that I'm really excited about making. So I'm gonna chat with you today about a question that I got so many times on my channel, on my Instagram, and it is, why did we sell our house? So I'm gonna chat with you today while I put my makeup on. Let's get started. So I need to preface with a couple of things. Number one, there seems to be a lot of noise going on right outside. So this is really cute. There's like dogs barking and cars going by and someone's moving in and I can see their moving truck right here and it is making a lot of noises. So I apologize in advance if you can hear any of that, but we're gonna get this video done. Okay, unlike the first makeup video I did where I shared with you all of the makeup that I'm using, the brands, the color, the names, all the things, I'm not doing that this time. Sorry. Not sorry. Do people still say that? Well, I am. I'm just gonna do my makeup and chat with you. So it's more so just a chat and you get to watch me put my makeup on while we're chatting, or I'm chatting. And in order for me to film, I had to set up a little temporary mirror. Oh, snap! Yikes, sorry about that. Yeah, so I've got my little temporary mirror set up. If you watched one of my previous videos, my life update one, I shared this really fun vanity that I found on Facebook Marketplace for like 20 bucks. It was amazing. I just changed the knob to brass because it had like a funky silver bedazzled kind of looking thing going on. And anyways, it has a flip up mirror that's amazing, but in order for me to like set up my camera and all the things, I can't use the mirror, so I had to put all my makeup on top of it, but it's fine. We're gonna do this thing. So, okay, also, before I preface, my skin has been so dry lately, but anyways, that wasn't what I was gonna say. So before I give you a good explanation of like the main reason why we sold our house, I mean, it was a lot of small reasons that attributed to the decision to sell the house, but ultimately it really kind of came down to this one. So in order for you to know that, you need to know that when we were building the house, we actually lived in our camper. So when we knew we were gonna build a house and we found property, so we built the house on a little under 12 acres of land. We have always loved camping, like loved it, but for the longest time, we just borrowed my in-laws' camper, which was great. But because camping was such an amazing time and experience for our family. It was something we did every year, usually multiple times a year. We knew that a camper was something we wanted to invest in. So when we found out that we were going to be building on a piece of property that didn't have to be cleared out, but there were still some things we needed to do to the property before we could build the house, we figured, okay, well, if we're gonna have this property, why not just live on it and not pay rent for a house or an apartment or whatever? Let's go ahead and invest in a camper, live in that on the property until the house is ready. So that's what we did. And we got a fifth wheel. If you're not familiar with campers, it's like the fifth wheels, it's usually like a toy hauler. So the back end like opens up so you can put like your motorcycle, your four-wheeler or whatever your toy is in the back. And that back part has a bed that would raise and lower. So it could raise up to put your toys in the back and it could lower if you actually wanted to use it as a bed. So we just made that area the boys' room, so they shared. So one of them slept. So it had the bed that would raise up, but then it also had a couch situation that was like made to eat at. So it was like actually like not a couch. Well, it was kind of like a couch. It was like benches, couch benches. I'm gonna go with that. 2 couch benches. And so it was made 2 on each side, like picnic table style. So it had a table that it came with and you could set it up to eat underneath the bed that goes up. You know, when I'm saying this out loud, it sounds really ridiculous, but it was really smart and it worked. And we used it for the boys' room. So one of the boys would sleep on the top bed, the other one would sleep, you could like lower the couch benches. I know that that's not what they're called. Forgive me. Like, I have no idea what I'm saying right now. But we would make that, we would lay it flat and it would make into a bed. Okay, so we had our fifth wheel. We lived in it for right about a year. So we went ahead and the timing was really great. Like the time that we decided to purchase this land was about like a month before the house that we were in, which we were actually renting at the time. We only did a 1-year lease. And that house, the lease was about to be up. And so we were like, okay, we have a month. Let's find a camper, go ahead and get it, and then we'll just figure it out because we couldn't move on to our land until like November, I believe. So there was about 3 to 4 months that, well, it was about 3 months that we were gonna have to figure out where we were gonna live in our camper. So we ended up contacting one of our local campgrounds. They were amazing and let us do like a long-term stay there locally. I don't remember how much they charged us for it, but it was minimum compared to, you know, renting a house for a few more months. So we did that, and then as soon as we got the land and everything was finalized and we were able to connect water and electricity out there, we went ahead and brought the camper out there and lived on our land. So fast forward about a year and our house is ready to move into, it was like the end of May, beginning of June, something like that. We were so excited, started moving in all the things. Well, the first night that we slept in the house was so difficult for so many reasons. Number one, when you're in a camper, if you've ever camped before in a camper, you know what I'm talking about, but like the air conditioning and the heater, if you run it at night, it's loud, like you can hear it. And we got so used to just sleeping with white noise basically, which none of us ever did before. Going into the house, it was so quiet. On top of the fact that, you know, the first night or the first week, you don't have a bunch of stuff in your room to like fill up to help with sound anyways. And so it was so quiet. It was so difficult for us to fall asleep and stay asleep. Then the other thing was Bo and I were on the bottom floor and the boys were on the top floor, and we were just so far away from them. Like, it was just so odd to not be together. I mean, you're talking like we went from living in a little over 300 square feet for a year to moving into this 5,000 plus square foot house. Again, it's one of those other things when you say it out loud, it's like, yeah. Oh, that makes sense. So the first, okay, wait, I need to keep doing my makeup. I'm chatting and you know, it's hard for me to do two things at one time. So the first night, actually, no, not the first night. The next morning, Bo and I wake up and we just look at each other, and I'll never forget, we were like, oh my gosh, did we make a mistake? Like, this is so odd. Like, we didn't know if we wanted to be in a house this big, like being that far away from the boys, not being close together. And I'm not gonna lie, that's something that we struggled with the whole time that we were in the house. We're a close family. We enjoy being with our kids. I think they enjoy being with us. And to physically be that far apart, especially again, after being so physically close together for so long, we thought it would be a really nice transition and break, if you will, because we were so close together for so long. But it was really the opposite. Like, for us at least, I can't speak for the boys. We have had conversations about it, but for us, it was much more difficult than we anticipated. Now, understand, I am incredibly grateful for our home. It was such a blessing. I'm thankful for the time that we were in. So I don't want to discredit the blessing that God gave us in that home, because that was such a beautiful season for us in so many ways, so many lessons learned, so many God things happened in the home because of the home. I mean, hear my heart here. I don't want to discredit that whatsoever, but we truly did miss the closeness that we had in the camper before we moved into the house. So actually, you know, it's funny how like you just forget You forget so many things until you're like talking about it, and that's what's happening right now. So actually, we were living in the house maybe like 6 or 7 months or something like that. And we were talking about this and we were like, let's just put it up for sale. And people thought we were crazy. We had not even lived in our house for a year and we put it on the market. It was the craziest thing. But that's just us. I mean, it's just, if you know us, you know, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's totally a Mo and Bo thing. It's just us. And so we listed it less than a year of living in it. And we were like, why not? Let's just see, you know, if someone makes an offer, cool. If not, we don't have to move. So we're good either way. So long story short, we took it. I really can't remember why we ended up taking it off the market and how long it was on the market for. I want to say we left it was less than a year, I believe, that we had it on the market, and for whatever reason, we decided to take it off. So we ended up living in the house for 4 years total. That was after we sold it. So I guess year 3, we decided to go ahead. It was the end of 2019. So pre-COVID, we decided, what am I looking for? Sorry. Okay, I did my blush, my brows. We decided to list it again. Again, really kind of the same reasons. Like I mentioned before, there were some other factors that went into why we decided to sell it. But ultimately, we just kept going back to that. Like, number one, we learned that we were terrible farmers. We went through a season where we had a lot of livestock. We loved having livestock. We were just not good at it. So just gonna throw that out there. And so we weren't using all of the property in the way that we had anticipated that we would. And because we weren't using it, we still had to maintain it, right? And just taking care of 12 acres, which mind you, we didn't have any trees on our land. So it constantly had to be mowed. It had to stay groomed. It was so much work. And for our lifestyle, because I owned my gym at the time, Bo traveled a lot, it was just a bit overwhelming. It was something that we were just tired of doing. And here's the deal, like, we were super happy in the camper. Like, for us, we just realized, and I think we knew this before, it was just, we hadn't really communicated about this until we were in the house, but we just realized how much it means to us that home really, and this is so cliche, but home really is where our family is. It doesn't matter where we're living, what style of house we're in, if it's a house, if it's a camper, if it's a trailer, if it's an apartment, like whatever. If we're together, that gives us peace, that gives us joy, that gives us all of the components for us as a family that makes us feel whole. And so just talking about that out loud, you know, and discussing selling the house, we just realized, like, we just want to be in a smaller place. We want, not just for like all of the reasons I just mentioned, just, you know, family, spiritual reasons, emotional, but just physically, like, we just didn't, how many times did I just say just? We didn't want to have to continue maintaining such a big house and that much land. I don't know why, but this tartelette, I think I had trouble saying this in the last video. When I open it, it smells like candy. Why is that? I don't know, but I like it. Okay, so we listed the house the end of 2019. It was right around Christmas, actually. Then, as you know, COVID hit the next year, and it sat on the market for over a year, almost a year and a half. But we got an offer, we accepted it, and it was truly such a God thing. I'm sure just like so many of you guys watching, COVID impacted you in so many ways, and especially financially. And, you know, Bo and I are both business owners, and that was a scary time. And he, you know, started having to really travel a lot. We counted up in 1 year, he took 49 flights. He would be gone for, you know, a week to 10 days at a time, home for 2 or 3 days, and then back at it. And so we knew pretty quickly, like, yeah, we really need this house to sell. On top of so many other things that I won't go into detail about, but when we got that offer, it was such a blessing. I can't even begin to tell you. And here's the other thing, you guys. God is so good because he prompted us to list our house in 2019 for reasons completely different than why we actually really needed to sell when it did. Like, he just knew. He knew the timing. He knew that COVID was going to happen when none of us did. He knew the impact that it would make on our business and businesses. And he's just so good. I just can't say it enough. Like, when you're walking through it, in whatever situation it is that you just feel like is the struggle, right? And you just can't see the why. You just can't see or understand, why is it taking so long? Why am I even having to walk through this to begin with? Why? And then you learn and you're able to look back and go, oh, now I get it. Now, God, I see what you had in store, because you saw the big picture and I couldn't. And I can't tell you how many times that I have experienced that. And still, every time I go through it, it's so hard and it doesn't make it any easier. But I have to remind myself of how many times that the no's I got were because God had a bigger yes, right? And our house was exactly that story. It was just, it felt like it took forever. It felt like things just weren't going to happen the way we had planned it to happen, and they didn't. They were better than what we planned. And it's just, man, thank you guys for asking me this, because I don't think that I would have shared publicly this story had you not asked. And it just reminds me of the scripture of, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, and just testifying about what God has done reminds me of how good he is. And I'm so thankful for that. So thank you for that. You're awesome. Okay. I'm holding this thing and talking with it, and I need to use it. What am I doing? Okay, here we go. So we sold the house in April of 2021, less than a year ago from the time I'm making this video. And just side note, when we sold it, we knew that we were downsizing tremendously. We didn't know what we were going to do, where we were going to be, or anything like that. So we knew we were going to move into an apartment in the area that we were in, and decided, let's just have an estate sale. And if you followed me at that time, we sold so much stuff. We had, I guess you would call it a living estate sale. I don't know if that's a thing, but we just priced everything. I mean, we sold so much stuff because we knew that whatever was next for us, we were just ready to get rid of all the stuff. Do you know what I mean? And the crazy thing about that is I didn't even feel like we had that much. We never really filled the house. If you went in our kitchen, we had a ton of cabinets, and all of the top ones were empty. They were empty the entire time we lived in the house. And it's just crazy because typically you kind of grow into your house, right? And oftentimes even beyond that, having to have a storage building and all the things, which was something that we were not going to do. Anyways, all that to say, when we had the estate sale, we just got rid of so much stuff. It was crazy. It was crazy. And so we closed on the house in April of 2021. Now fast forward, while I'm making this video, it is the beginning of February 2022, and we are here in Texas now. So I shared a little bit more in detail about that whole transition of how we ended up in Texas in my last life update video. So if you're interested in that, you can go check that out. But we are loving it here in Frisco. We are loving it. What am I looking for? Mascara. One really great result of us selling the house, because it was so big, and the bigger the house, the bigger the bills. It's just what it is that it freed up so much more for us financially that we're able to put away and use towards other things. Because here's the truth, I love money. Money provides a house for us. Money gives us food, which I think might be more important to me than a house. Let's just be real. We're all a bunch of foodies in this house. But money provides so much for us, and it provides us the ability for us to give, which in my opinion is the best gift of all that money can give. And so having even more financial freedom because we don't have any debt. We paid off all of our debt years ago, praise God. But just having more financial freedom, I mean, that's a goal, right? Does this make you cringe to see someone curling their eyelashes? Like, it almost bothers me to watch myself curl my own lashes. I was just thinking that, like, is it weird to watch someone else, like, I don't know, being that close to my eyeball, and then what, like, oh, it kind of makes me like, it's like little things that I have that just, I can't. Like, one of my friends when I was growing up had like a corduroy couch material, and if your hand just rubbed it the right, oh, I can't deal with it. I can't, no bueno. You guys, I'm pretty sure that's a gray hair in my eyebrow. Oh, where did it go? What is going on? Okay, what else? I think I just need to curl my lashes one more time and then I'm done. All right, if this bothers you like it bothers me, look away. Double tap that right side of your screen, which I just found that out like a month ago. My kids taught me that if you double tap the right side, don't do it on this video unless I'm curling my lashes. But if you double tap the right, or I guess the left side, yeah, the right or left, it's like a fast forward or rewind on your video. Did you know that? Probably. I didn't know that. I was like, what? Just changed my life. So yeah, to answer your question of why did we sell our house, originally we listed it because of a lot of reasons, but the main one being that we were ready to downsize and just be closer together physically as a family. But ultimately, God knew what we would need. He knew the plans that he had for us. Imagine that. And so the house sold, and it was such a blessing for our family. We are loving it here. We are loving it. God is so good. We are so thankful for those years and the time that we had in our home in Shreveport, but we are crazy excited for the future. My lips are so dry, but you guys, this liner is amazing. I need to get a more nude color in it because this is pretty pink, but I love it so much. This, I still don't know how to say it. Buxom, who knows? I get it from Ulta and it is so, so good. All right, let me take my banana clips out. Voila, we are done. All right, seriously though, thank you for asking me the question of why we sold our house, because it was actually very therapeutic and such a blessing. Really, I feel like I said blessing a lot. But it really, I don't have another word for it. It was such a blessing to like remind myself of how much God has done for us through this whole transition, because it has not been easy. It has not been easy, but worth it. It has been so worth it. And yeah, we're super excited for the future. And I'm so thankful for you guys. And I am honored that you choose to follow along here on this little itty bitty space of mine on YouTube. I do love doing these Makeup with Mo's. So I've got a few other topics I'm gonna be chatting with you about in the very near future. So stay tuned. And until next time, you guys, I hope you have a fantastic day and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.